Thank y'all very much. Colonel, thank you, and thank you all for allowing me to participate in today's events. But as one of the two Southerners in the group today, between Larry and myself, we're proud to be here. But in the small town where I grew up in Lenore, North Carolina, Abraham Lincoln was not exactly as beloved as he is here in Springfield, Illinois. But I honestly think those thoughts and things have changed. Just as our 16th president brought the most significant transformation of our country since the Declaration of Independence, attitudes today in the Old South have evolved significantly since that tragic night at Ford's Theater. The struggle for equality and civil rights still continues. We all know that. Not just in the South, but throughout the country. These issues were not even truly considered until this underestimated lawyer signed the Emancipation Proclamation, championed the 13th Amendment, and led the country through its bloodiest war. Until slavery was eliminated, there could never be civil rights, and clearly not all men and or women could be considered equal. I hope Lincoln's birthday is a reminder to my fellow Americans, a reminder that the United States can rise to any challenge. As portrayed in Steven Spielberg's film Lincoln, the man that we honor today has extraordinary vision. He delivered on ideas that preceding presidents wouldn't dare take on. Spielberg's film focuses mainly on his intent to get Congress to pass a constitutional amendment to ban slavery. Passage by Congress was impossible. Lincoln's advisors told him and warned him about that. The votes simply were not there, they said, but he remained steadfast. We've stepped out onto the world stage, he told his cabinet. Now with the fate of human dignity in our hands, blood's been spilled to afford us this moment. Now. Not only would President Lincoln succeed in getting the 13th Amendment passed, he would do so by amassing a coalition of diverse interests during the closing days of the bloodiest war in American history. But as idealistic as Abraham Lincoln was, he probably would have delighted in knowing that not only would the Union survive, but it would expand and prosper into the most powerful nation on earth. That prosperity and success was only possible because of the men and women who defended and in many cases died for our freedoms. President Lincoln never lost sight of their sacrifice, and it was his words that remained the motto for the Department of Veterans Affairs today: to care for him who shall have borne the battle and for his widow and his orphan is not some empty promise made by politicians simply to get elected. They came from the president's second inaugural address, with victory already achieved and the Civil War winding down. Lincoln knew that the war had taken an enormous physical toll, and he planned on fully honoring his pledge to those who had already sacrificed so much. But sadly, an assassin's bullet prevented the president from presiding over the newly reunified nation. 54 years later, the American Legion was created. Although our founding pillars and preamble use similar but not the exact words of Lincoln, we continue to live up to Lincoln's pledge by directly supporting wounded, injured, and ill troops through our Operation Comfort Warrior program. We continue to advocate and provide for veterans and their families through the work of our service officers who assist American veterans across the nation and overseas. We provide financial assistance to children in need from our Veterans and Children's Welfare Foundation. We provide scholarships to the children of our fallen and severely disabled service members. We work with Congress to ensure veterans have access to a quality health care system. Among many other things, we care for him who shall not have borne the battle, but for his widow and orphan. We do these things not because it's right, but because it's also necessary to ensure that our government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from this earth. Through the service of our brave men and women in uniform, it never will. Thank you very much. God bless America.